also know that we are living in a blessed country and county that help us and guide us that we make the proper decisions for all of our people involved in the county. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Chair doesn't have any comments this morning, so we'll move straight to the consent agenda. Commissioners?
I would make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Without discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. This morning on our agenda, we have an opportunity for the public to comment directly to the commissioners. Madam Clerk, did anybody register with you for public comment?
No, sir.
Is there anyone here gathered that wishes to speak or address the commission? Hearing none, we'll move on to the business agenda. First item on our business agenda this morning is Resolution 26, 2025. Mackenzie Phillips, good morning.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Mackenzie Phillips, Development and Administrative Coordinator. Before you this morning, the Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider a rezoning resolution for the property generally located at 3850 Dahl Road. The property owner, Michael Wakekamp, is requesting to rezone 3850 North Dahl Road from A Agricultural District to RR Rural Residential District. The property is approximately 6.29 acres and was platted in 2020 as the MNC Farms subdivision. There is currently a manufactured home and an accessory structure on the property, and the applicant plans to build a new single-family home on the property. Finney County, the Finney County Future Land Use Map does designate this area as agricultural. However, the zoning regulations, A Agricultural District requires a 40-acre minimum lot size. So residential district zoning is more appropriate. During the plat review process, the applicant was notified that the property was to be rezoned before requesting building permits. The property, or the proposed RR zoning district, would allow for a single-family home. The current manufactured home can remain on the property while the single-family home is being built. However, the manufactured home must be removed within 10 days after the completion of the construction work. A copy of the, a certificate of occupancy for the new manufactured home will not be granted until that manufactured home is moved from the property. The Board of County Commissioners may make its findings according to the criteria in Section 27.040 of the Finney County zoning regulations, and those criteria are listed below for you. The rezoning request did go for before the Planning Commission on August 21st, 2025, and it was recommended for approval. So the alternatives before you this morning are the Board of County Commissioners may adopt the Planning Commission's recommendation by adopting Resolution 26-2025, or the Board of County Commissioners may override the Planning Commission's recommendation by a 2/3 majority vote, or the Planning Commission, or the Board of County Commissioners may return the recommendation to the Planning Commission with a statement specifying the basis for the governing body's failure to approve or disapprove. And staff recommends alternative 1 to adopt the Planning Commission's recommendation by approving Resolution 26-2025.
Questions, commissioners?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 26-2025.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the resolution as presented and as recommended by staff. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Don't go very far. The next item on our agenda is proposed Resolution 26-2025, Becky's Trails additions. Please.
The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve Becky's Trail Addition parcel plat. Burt West with Pro Stake Surveying, on behalf of the property owner, Becky Hassler, is requesting to plat Becky's Trail Addition. The property is generally located at 5730 Mansfield Road and is currently zoned MHP Manufactured Home Park District. It's also within the AIO Airport Influence Overlay District, which that district has specific requirements by federal regulations that they're required to match. The proposed plat contains 2 lots. Lot 1 is approximately 5 acres with an existing single-family home and an accessory structure. Lot 2 is approximately 12.94 acres with 3 A-frame residential units. Both lots are located in the Zone AE of the Special Flood Hazard Area, which requires any new building constructed to comply with the floodplain regulations. The property owner intends to keep Lot 1, and her brother will maintain Lot 2. Both properties are considered non-conforming as they do not comply with the requirements of the MHP zoning district. The properties will be required to be rezoned or brought into compliance with the MHP district before any building permits are accepted. The review of the second submittal was conducted on August 10th, 2025, and was found to meet the minimum requirements of the Finney County subdivision and zoning regulations. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the parcel plat on August 21st, 2025, and the minutes are attached. The alternatives before you this morning are the Board of County Commissioners may approve the parcel plat, or the Board of County Commissioners may not approve the parcel plat, and staff recommends alternative 1.
Questions from commissioners?
I'll move that we approve the parcel plat.
Second.
Madam Clerk, who seconded that motion?
I did.
Commissioner Buttes? Thank you very much. It's been moved and seconded to approve the parcel plat. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Now we'll discuss the 2025 annual fall cleanup. Good morning.
Good morning. My name
Speak
is.
up into the microphone. The fans are blowing. We want to hear you.
Good morning. My name is Leah Quinones. I'm with Finney County Public Works. I'm the business manager in that department. Today I come to you for the 2025 fall cleanup. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to waive the $2 per ton municipal waste fee for the 2025 annual fall cleanup for the City of Garden City, the City of Holcomb, and Finney County. And Finney County received letters from the City of Garden City, the City of Holcomb, requesting Finney County to assist in the fall cleanup program by waiving the $2 per ton municipal waste fee. The 2025 City of Garden City fall cleanup will last from September 29th through October 10th. The City of Holcomb fall cleanup will be held from September 26th through October 3rd. Staff requests that the board also waive the $2 per ton municipal waste fee for the residents of Finney County to haul unwanted items on October 3rd and October 10th. Finney County receives $2 per ton municipal waste fee from the landfill. Waste Connection sends these money to the county on a quarterly basis, and we have waived this fee for both city cleanups in the past. Today, the alternatives are the Board of County Commissioners may approve the waiver of the $2 per ton municipal waste fee for the 2025 City of Garden City, City of Holcomb, and Finney County fall cleanups. And the second alternative is the board may not approve the waiver for the 2025 City of Garden City, City of Holcomb, and Finney County fall cleanups. Staff recommends alternative 1 to approve the waiver for $2 per ton municipal waste fee for the 2025 City of Garden City, City of Holcomb, and Finney County fall cleanups.
Questions, commissioners?
I'll move that we approve the waiver of the $2 per ton municipal wastewater fee for the 2025 City of Garden City, City of Holcomb, Finney County fall cleanups.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the alternative number 1 as stated in the dictated motion. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, we'll hear from Stephanie Seibert.
Good morning, Commissioners. Stephanie Siebert, Finney County Fairgrounds Coordinator. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to approve donating 12 dividers and a storage cart to the USD 457 School District and allow us to remove these items from Fairgrounds Department inventory. There were 44 of these dividers that were built and donated to the county a number of years ago for use at the fairgrounds during various events. I'm not sure of the exact dates those were made and donated, but they've been acquired 5+ years ago. Over the last 5.5 years I've been with the county, we have used 20 at max each year, and these items are very large. Each board is about 6 foot tall and 8 foot wide and take up quite a bit of storage space in our facilities. USD 457 has borrowed these items from us a couple of times each year over the last 3 to 4 years, so it would be something that they would like to have on hand for their use. The alternatives before you are to approve the request to donate the 12 tan dividers and 1 corresponding storage cart to USD 457, or deny the request. Staff recommendation is alternative 1, to approve the request to donate 12 of these dividers and 1 storage cart to USD 457. There is no fiscal impact to the county, but we have estimated the value of the donated items to be $375.
Questions?
Stephanie, if you guys ever need 1 or 2 of them back, you think you can get them back?
I'm sure we would be able to borrow them from them.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we allow the property transfer.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to follow staff's recommendation to allow the transfer. Alternative number 1, is there any other further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Steph.
Thank you.
Next up on the business agenda is to hear from the county administrator regarding an annexation request. Sir.
Good morning, Commissioners. Gary Meager, Interim County Administrator. This is a request for consent to annex from the City of Garden City. On April 28th, 2025, a joint city-county meeting. At that meeting, the city representatives provided an update on the Northwest K-156 development. They further asked the county to consider allowing land owned by the county to be annexed into the city. This would allow for the planning and for developing roads and utilities for the future. The parcel being requested annex is owned by the county and is leased by the Kansas State University. Kansas State University was contacted regarding this request, and I received a letter from Vice President for Administration and Finance, Ethan Erickson, indicating that they have no objection to this annexation. In further research, I found that K-State had authorized the annexation of 2 properties they have in that area earlier this year. It was in February of this year. So the alternatives you have before you today would be to approve permission and consent to annex the annexation documents and authorize the chairman to sign those. Approve permission and consent to annex with modifications and authorize the chairman to sign, or to reject the permission and consent to annexation and provide further directions to the county staff.
And your recommendation, sir?
Recommendation is to approve alternative 1, to approve the annexation documents, authorize the chairman to sign.
Questions for the administrator? Commissioner Jones, I think your question was, is that the entirety of the lease is within the area to be annexed, is that correct?
Well, I was looking at the map, the visual, the blue outlined area. I guess that's
Could you pull up that map?
close enough. Bluish. That's the area that you want to annex, correct?
That's correct. The blue area is there is a, as you'll see, area along Highway 156 that is KDOT owned. That's what that little strip is, but otherwise, all the blue area would be involved in that annexation.
Just want to be clear.
Sure.
Any other questions, commissioners?
I would move that,
We
oh, go ahead.
approve alternative 1. You can second.
Second.
Now that this has been blessed and the commissioners seconded, the motion is to approve the option or alternative A to allow the annexation Madam Counselor, are you satisfied with the consent that's executed, been provided to the Board of County Commissioners?
Yes.
So the tenant agrees, we're the owner of the property, we agree. Anything else about this annexation request? Do you have any concerns?
No.
All right, very good. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'll sign the consent. Mr. Navarro, you're here on behalf of the 25th Judicial District with regard to an annual budget certification. How can we help you?
Hi, good morning. Meneses Navarro, Court Administrator, 25th Judicial District. Today, the Board of County Commissioners is asked to approve and authorize the Chair to sign the Form JA 100 certifying the 25th Judicial District funding as adopted in the 2026 budget. The JA 100 certifies the budget needs of a judicial district. The completed form is part of the district's annual process for finalizing its budget based on funding provided by the county. The completed form is submitted by the Chief Judge of each judicial district to the Office of Judicial Administration, OJA. The form is used in accordance with Kansas statutes annotated 20-349. The alternatives in front of you are Alternative 1, approve and authorize the chair to sign Form JA 100 certifying the 25th Judicial District funding as adopted in the 2026 Finney County budget. Alternative 2, decline to approve and authorize the chair to sign JA 100 certifying the 25th Judicial District funding as adopted in the 2026 Finney County budget and direct staff. Staff recommends Alternative 1. Fiscal policy impact, it's the budget that was adopted in the 26 budget process.
Commissioners, questions for the Court Administrator?
So the amount is the 1.304561?
Yes, that's the correct amount. And then on that second form, that will be adjusted by myself once it's submitted to OJA to reflect the approved budget amount for 2026.
I'll move that we approve alternative 1.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve alternative number 1, demonstrating certifying a budget to the judicial district of 1.304561. Is there any further comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'll sign.
Thank you.
Morning, Mr. Meager. I understand we're going on to 25th Judicial District Youth Services budget? No? Nope, never mind. We're going backwards on mine. So let's go back to the appointment of a local health officer.
Okay.
That's your show.
Okay. KSA 65-201 states in part that each county board shall appoint a person who shall serve as a local health officer and who shall act in the advisory capacity to the county board of health. The appointing authority of the county with less than 100,000 population may appoint a qualified local health program administrator as the local health officer if a person licensed to practice medicine and surgery or person licensed to practice dentistry is designated as a consultant to direct the administrator on program on the program and related medical professional matters. The local health officer or the local health administrator shall hold the office at the pleasure of the board. In this particular case, Dr. Michael Jackson is the medical director for the health department. A little bit of background. Shruti Chhabra was the health officer for Finney County until she left employment, which created a vacancy. Danilina Ontiveros is an RN, has been appointed as the interim health health department director, and is the deputy health officer currently, and has recommended that she become the health officer for Finney County, and has further recommended that Anna Alex, an APRN, be appointed to the deputy health officer. So I think that what you will have to probably do, we'll defer this to the county councilor, but you'll have to go into session as the health board to make this particular appointment. But the alternatives are to appoint Danilina Ontiveros as the health department director and Anna Alex as the deputy director, or to approve the resolution with modifications, or to decline the adoption of resolution 28-2025 and approve and provide further direction to the staff.
Thank you. Madam Counselor, you concur that we should convene as a Board of County Health?
I do.
Motion to convene as a Board of County Health.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones, seconded by Commissioner Besky.
Yes.
Very good. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are convened as the County Health Board of Finney County, Kansas. The recommendation is to appoint Danilina Ontiveros, RN, as the County Health Officer, and Anna Alex as Deputy Health Officer.
I just have a thought that I'd like to share. And I did read the statute, and this is absolutely no shade to Dana. She does an excellent job. In my opinion, I think we need to have the higher credentialed person as the health officer and the RN as the deputy health officer. That would be my recommendation.
Respectfully disagree. The recommendation is to have the longer tenured employee who's now serving as the head of the agency. That's my thoughts.
I would echo that as well, Mr. Chair.
Any other comments? Then we should entertain a motion to adopt the resolution as written, or we should have a motion from the Vice Chairman as to changing the recommendation with modifications. How do you want to proceed, Madam Vice Chair?
I would make a motion that we would appoint Anna Alex as the health officer and Dana Ontiveros as the assistant deputy health officer.
Is there a second? Thank you for the motion. The motion fails due for a lack of a second. Is there a new motion?
Mr. Chair, I would move that we adopt Resolution 28-2025 as written.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adopt Resolution 2825 as recommended by staff and as written. Is there any further discussion? Senior Commissioner Jones, your input.
Sounds fine to me.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Right, since I got ahead of myself, Stephanie? Slight change in the agenda this morning. Beth Beavers, the director of the Judicial Youth Center, is not here, and in her stead is Stephanie Roush. Thank you and good morning.
Good morning, Stephanie Roush, Assistant Director, Department of Corrections, Adult Youth Services. Thank you for seeing me in Beth Beaver's absence. This morning, I have in front of you a FY25 budget adjustment. The 25th Judicial District Youth Services Grant from the Kansas Department of Corrections is awarded in a lump sum that is divided between 4 departments: intake and assessment, case management, intensive supervision, and the immediate intervention program. The case management and intensive supervision departments went over budget and non-admin personnel line items. There was unused grant money on the intake and assessment non-admin line items to cover these expenses. The Kansas Department of Corrections requires the approval of the host county advisory board's approval if the budget adjustment total $5,000 or 1% of the current year award, whichever is higher. Alternative 1 is to approve the fourth quarter budget adjustment as presented. Alternative 2 is to reject the fourth quarter budget adjustment and move funds from a different line item. The transfer would be for $69,090.70, and the director is recommending alternative 1 with no fiscal impact to the county.
Questions for Beth and Stephanie?
Need a motion, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir, I do.
I move that we allow the budget adjustments.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the fourth quarter budget adjustments as presented. Is there any further discussion? Your motion also approves of the chairman to sign,
Yes.
and the second.
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Right. I don't think you guys ever came out of the Board of County Health, just
Oh,
point of
good.
order.
Motion to go out of the County Board of Health.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Back in regular session. Let's renew our motion on making the judicial district budget adjustment. Commissioner Jones, you made that motion,
So moved as presented.
and there was a second from Commissioner Vice Chairman Gurman. Same second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Year-end outcomes.
Yes, I have 2 different year-end outcomes that'll need signatory approvals. First, I have the FY25 Youth Services year-end outcomes. Every year, the Youth Services sets goals and tasks that we aim to accomplish in FY25. The Juvenile Intake and Assessment Department worked on expanding their list of potential volunteers for police protective custody youth. The Juvenile Intensive Supervision and Case Management Department worked on ensuring they completed and reviewed goals and tasks with clients so they could complete case plans to be successful while on supervision. And they also referred them out into services in the community to help address those high-risk needs to also help them be successful. And the immediate intervention program, they worked on and accomplished hiring another IIP officer and working on positive reinforcement to help change that and help influence that positive behavior with youth. Youth Services were required to create goals, tasks, and track outcomes in FY25 as part of our agency case plans. Our alternatives are to accept the FY25 year-end outcomes as presented. Alternative 2, deny the FY25 year-end outcomes as presented. Make any requested changes by commission and resubmit. The agency recommends alternative 1 to accept the year-end outcomes for youth, and there's no fiscal impact to the county.
Questions from commissioners?
I would move that we accept alternative 1.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve and accept alternative number 1 and for the chairman to sign. Move it.
Yes.
Second.
Yes.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Only one, Madam Clerk? You usually have two. Only
No,
one.
for that, just one.
All right, very good. Stephanie, you're still up on year-end outcome changes?
Yes, one more. We are also seeking signatory approval for FY25 year-end outcomes for adult corrections. Community corrections sets goals and tasks they aim to also complete in FY25. The intensive supervision officers worked on creating goals and tasks for clients to complete that would help address high-risk needs that those clients have to help them be successful. Those intensive supervision officers referred clients into services and programs as needed. The agency worked on filling open intensive supervision officer positions to help reduce caseload sizes. This allowed time for more quality office visits to take place between staff and clients. The agency also had a vacant program provider position that we attempted to fill. However, that was not filled and we still have it open and advertised. Alternative 1 is to accept the FY25 year-end outcomes as presented. Alternative number 2 is to deny the outcomes as presented, make any requested changes and resubmit. The recommendation of the agency is alternative 1 to accept the FY25 year-end outcomes as presented, and there's no fiscal impact to the county.
Questions?
I would move that we accept alternative 1, accept the fiscal year 25 year-end outcomes as presented to be signed by the chair.
And I would second.
In that well-worded motion, is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'll sign.
Thank you, Commission.
Next on our agenda is to hear from the Director of Finney County EMS, Kenny Smith.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kenny Smith, Director of Finney County EMS. Let me get to my right one because you guys got me a lot today. All right, the board, or the governing board, is asked to consider and approve the MOU for services rendered in flight services. In the first 6 months of 2025, we had over 200 flight service transfers. We do currently charge the patient's insurance and the patients for that transfer, but we do not currently charge anything for the flight services for their ride in or their ride out, whichever one it may be. This MOU would set an agreement that we charge a flight services a flat rate for our services provided when there isn't a patient in the ambulance. Alternative before you is approve the MOU for the county to send to the flight services for the agreement, or alternative number 2, not approve the MOU and then give direction. Staff recommends alternative 1. There is no fiscal impact with this MOU at all.
Questions, Commissioners? Yes, sir.
Kenny, you got to explain this a little better to me.
Okay.
So when the flight crew are the ones that you're transporting in and out
Yes.
without a patient in the ambulance?
So it typically depends on if they bring a patient into St. Catharines or if they take a patient out of St. Catharines.
Okay.
If they take a patient in, then naturally, we go out to the airport and pick up the patient and the flight crew, but then we have to take them back out. If they pick up a patient at St. Catharines, then we have to go out to the airport, pick them up, bring them in, pick up the patient, and then take them back out.
How many folks are you talking usually?
How many what?
How many people on the flight crew?
Typically 2.
2?
Yes.
Wouldn't it be, I don't know, you have an expedition or vehicles that are easier to use than ambulance?
They also grab or have to haul their equipment. So they have a board, a long board, and all of their equipment. Depending on the type of transfer, if it's a neonatal transfer, then they have an isolette that has to be, and it's pretty heavy, so it has to be on a cot, so.
Question answered. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, commissioners?
I'll move that we approve alternative one.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve alternative number 1 in the memorandum of understanding as presented. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, Kenny.
Okay. I didn't know if I was staying up here or not. All right. The governing bodies asked to consider and approve the rates at which the county charges for emergency medical services. At the current time, we use QuickMed Claims as our third-party vendor for billing. When they started billing in 2023, the fees that were set, but we believe that they weren't brought up before you, the board, for approval. The list provided shows what is currently being charged for the person for when we bill them or when we bill the insurance. Alternative number 1, approve the fees that are currently being charged for the EMS services. And alternative number 2, do not approve the fees, give direction on if they or if you are wanting them changed. And staff recommends alternative 1, and there is no fiscal impact. Can you bring up the charges?
I'll move that we approve alternative 1.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve these rates. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, we'll hear from Lana Duvall, President and CEO of Finney County Economic Development Corp. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lana Duvall, President and CEO of Finney County Economic Development Corporation. A couple of things we're working on. We have a large agriculture project that we're working with, and they're hoping to break ground within the next 45 to 60 days. So we're assisting them with getting through some of the KDOT processes and layout, if you will, if they're successful in getting that project prepared. So we'll be coming back to you with some discussion on that item when we get to that point, but should be very quickly again because they're hoping to start construction pretty rapidly. Also working with a large renewable project, and they'll be back in the community. Some of you have had the opportunity already to meet with their representatives. They'll be back in the community this week and hoping to continue moving that project forward. Those take a long time. They're a lot of work. There's a lot of approving agencies and a lot of folks who weigh in on those. And then we have periods of public comment. So those projects don't move quickly, but we're pleased to see it moving forward. Obviously, with the state of data center growth and AI enhancements, anything we can do to contribute to the electrical grid is going to be appreciated by folks all over the country. So we want to continue to help these projects move forward. Working on some housing developments. As most of you are aware, we did get an MOU signed between Gurman Homes and Garden City Community College, so the construction trade students have an opportunity to work on actual projects as they're going up, which we're very excited about. The MIH ARPA project, which is the Sand Sage Apartments on Palace Drive, those should start construction within the next 10 days to 2 weeks, so we're excited about that. It's been a long time coming. There will be a groundbreaking for that, and we'll make sure you have an invitation to that once we know for sure when that is. And then working with a developer on a large county development that would be largely custom homes, some speculative, some custom. So excited to see if we can get that one across the finish line. It's a parcel we've looked at previously with other developers, but we're hopeful that everything has aligned properly on this one to make the project continue through. Continuing to help the truck wash that is trying to locate out in the former Northwest Industrial District. There's some challenges there with, obviously, with the road project. His parcel is dependent on having that access that's granted off of Acro Waste. So continuing to work with him through that process. There's been a lot of work on higher education with multiple universities, which is exciting. And should be some some more public motion on some of the things that are happening there with higher ed within the next several weeks. So we're excited about that. And then finally, I would just mention that since you did do an annexation, consent to annexation this morning of a large parcel that the county owns heading northeast out of town, the city also recently completed their kind of global traffic impact study related to all of the projects that we know are going to be happening there, as well as many that are not public yet, but that we have been working on. So with the completion of that traffic impact study and the completion of their wastewater collection study, so the city also has to figure out how we're going to collect wastewater in that newly annexed and developed area and get it down to the current wastewater treatment plant. So both of those studies have been completed in the last month, and the City Commission has heard what the recommendations are from those studies during their pre-meetings. So that allows us to move forward on the IMAX Theater project. There's an apartment project directly behind that, and then some additional commercial projects a little further northeast of that those studies support and allow us to kind of move to the next level with those developments. So you'll get to see some activity on that progress pretty shortly as well. Happy to answer any questions I can for you.
The wonderful part about all of this is that our community continues to grow and thrive. And I ask whether you'd be available to be present tomorrow during the joint City Holcomb, City Garden City, and County Commission meeting.
I will be there, sir. Thank you.
Because I would like to have a prelude into that of your thought process about the design and layout of the proposed 4-lane into Garden City. And how far will it be away from this K-State property, and how are we going to maximize this development of the county-owned property that's leased to K-State?
Yes, sir.
Lana, you had talked at the very end about the IMAX project. I know that had, in one media outlet, had been announced, but then heard that it was no longer happening because of finance, but you're saying that project is still a go?
Yeah, there was never a time that
It was
that
not?
it was not a go.
Okay.
Nope, those are social media rumors. We
Okay.
would encourage you to contact us directly when you have questions.
Sounds great.
We
Thank you.
usually know a little bit more than Facebook, which is shocking.
Yeah.
But we usually do, so we would encourage you to always call us if you have questions related to projects. It was a very intentional slowing of that project. Obviously, we didn't want the theater project to have to pay for all of the transportation improvements that are going to benefit more than 1,000 acres of future development. It didn't seem quite fair that one project would pay the brunt of all of the infrastructure expansion, including roadways. So
Perfect. Thank you.
you're welcome. Anything else?
Yes, sir.
On your renewables, there was one, if I remember, I'm trying to do this from memory, the southwest part of the county that was solar, and the northwest part of the county, which was wind. Now, both of those still go?
We still have momentum going on both of those. Yes, sir.
You know, I do have one more. I had, as you know, I visited with both of those representatives on both of those projects, but there was a project that had been mentioned before the current board had taken in the southeast part of the county. Do you know anything about that was proposed a few years ago but wasn't approved, or you know anything about a project down in that part of the county?
There was one years ago, a big wind project that was going to southern Finney County, except is that the one they discovered the weird snake?
Well, the Buffalo Dunes project, yeah, that went ahead and constructed. That was constructed by Tradewind Energy. They just simply moved across the county line and started with the leases in Haskell County, because apparently the snake knows where the county line is and didn't go into Haskell County. He only lived in Finney County. So,
Thank you.
absolutely, that was not denied by the county. Just to be clear, those concerns were raised by the Sierra Club, And with wind projects at that time, particularly because of where the production tax credit was in the political process, which the PTC has kind of been all through the political process, but because they were on a short timeline to get the project moving forward, they opted not to go through the environmental challenges that were presented by that lawsuit, and instead opted simply to move it across the county line. And there were no lawsuits filed, as long as it wasn't in Finney County, but only starting in Haskell County. So.
Happened to claim a snake.
Further comment, Commissioner Besky? It's the hog-nosed snake. Look it up if you...
I'm good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lana. We're going to continue to go on down the agenda and go over the health insurance renewal and come back to it at the appropriate time of 10 o'clock. So continuing on down our agenda, we have Public Works truck bid from Mr. Brungart, Interim Director of Public Works.
Good morning. Larry Brungart, Interim Road and Bridge Director. This morning, the Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve the purchase of 2 pickup trucks for the Public Works Department. The Public Works Department advertised for bids on August the 19th, 2025, and sent bid invites to 4 local and 2 non-local dealerships. Bids were opened at 11 a.m. on September the 8th, 2025. The following bids were received. Robert Brogdon's Garden City GMC, $48,882 per pickup for a total of $97,764. For 2 2026 2500 heavy-duty GMC Sierra regular cab long bed four-wheel drive pickups. Lead time is 60 to 75 days. Bozarth Chevrolet of Denver, Colorado at $49,584 each at $99,168 total. For 2 2025 3500 Chevrolet Silverado regular cab 8-foot bed 4x4s. Those pickups are in stock. We did spec that they'd be 3/4 ton. These are 1 ton. Called the dealership to make sure see if they were single wheel or if they were dualies. They are single wheel. Third is Shawnee Mission Ford at $45,731 each for a total of $91,462. For 2 2026 Ford F-250 regular cab 8-foot bed 4x4s. Lead time on them is also 60 to 75 days. Alternatives, the County Commissioners may approve accepting bid from Robert Brogdon's GMC for $97,764 to be paid out of Road and Bridge Fund. 2, the Board of County Commissioners may approve accepting the bid from Bozarth Chevrolet for $99,168 to be paid out of the Road and Bridge Fund. 3, the Board of County Commissioners may approve accepting the bid from Shawnee Mission Ford for $91,462 to be paid out of the Road and Bridge Fund. Or number 4, the Board of County Commissioners may reject all bids. Staff recommends alternative number 1, approve accepting the bid from Robert Brogdon's GMC of Garden City for $97,764 to be paid out of the Road and Bridge Fund.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Larry, did we send out bids to Lewis Motors and Burtis Motors?
Yes, we did. We sent them out to Burtis and Legacy and Lewis also, yeah.
Okay. I had a discussion with Larry before the meeting, and my understanding, the recommendation for the $48,882 was because of local bid.
Local bid, exactly, yes.
And I would like to stay with local. However, $6,000 is a lot of money. And I visited with Dory in our purchasing policy. It makes mention of lowest bid,
Right.
unless it's best bid or so forth. But I think we should also revisit our purchase policy and look at including a 1 or 2%, which wouldn't make a difference in this case, difference where we could purchase on a local bid. I know when I was with the city, that's what we did. That's how we purchased, so.
Do you think you'll get better if you have warranty work since it's a local dealer? I mean, or would, if you bought the Ford product, would you still, you think they would stand behind it?
I still think they would stand behind it. We were taking in consideration, past, desire to buy local if possible. I do want to say that these all meet minimum specifications, so if any of these three options are chosen, they would work for us.
I do know, Larry, that if you buy a Chevy from out of town or a Ford from out of town, under those companies' warranties, the locals are required to honor that warranty.
But what I was getting at, sometimes they may be required, but if to be able to prompt service and those type of things, like, I don't know. It seems highly irregular that only one local dealership even turned in a bid.
When I was with the police department, Larry, I had the same, sometimes they just didn't bid on them.
Didn't bid.
Right.
Well, I'm kind of like you. $6,000 is a lot, so you might as well. I would maybe suggest you just go with the lowest bid.
Larry, was there any other reason that you made this selection?
We were just thinking buying local and also having the dealer actually here in town. But to be honest with you, we've had several, the last couple of times we bought pickups was from Shawnee Mission. We haven't had an issue with the warranty work. And the trucks have worked out really well for us. I mean, really, all three were just basically our final decision. And we talked about it, we bounced it around quite a bit. And we just wanted to just have our suggestion on the local dealer.
These are all gas.
These are all gas, yes. And they meet our specifications. In fact, the Chevrolets from Bozarth are actually heavier than what we specified. They're a year older, but they are in stock now. Now, we are getting, any day, we're supposed to take delivery of the 3 pickups that were approved in April. So we have the one for the noxious weed, 2 of them for road and bridge coming anytime now.
Larry, you would probably know better than us city boys over here, but the 350s would probably maintain value more than the 250 anyway, wouldn't it?
I don't know if they'd maintain value. I know that they would be a heck of a lot rougher riding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would.
You don't carry that much weight in them, do you?
Not, we will have a fuel tank and, with diesel tank in there and a few tools, but not much, no.
I would probably recommend you should go with the Shawnee Mission Ford.
You mentioned dually.
Yeah.
Is that something that's not desired?
Not desired for what we would need these pickups for. We would want the single wheel pickup for these. We wouldn't want the dualies for these. Now, if it was for a service truck or something for the shop, that was something we would consider, but we don't need the extra. Again, rougher ride, they're wider, more to maintain, 2 more tires on each pickup when it's not needed.
Okay, thank you.
Unless you pull trailers every day, they're.
My 10 cents worth is that if I'm going to buy a vehicle, it's going to be the kind of vehicle that I want, and it's not going to be a Ford. And which leads us to the question of the difference between Brogdon's, who's local, and Bozarth, who's in Salina, of the difference between a 2500 HD GMC Sierra and a 3500 Chevrolet, which indicates that it has a heavier frame but the same size of engine.
Right, exactly.
So long and the short on this is that there's not much material difference between the 2 Chevy bids with the same engine and a different chassis, and the local person will provide the better service for us. And the real question, I guess, for this commission to discern is whether we should force upon the people in the Public Works to drive around in a Ford, or whether we should be driving around in a GMC that was $700 more, and I know confidently that we'll get better $700 worth of service over the life expectancy of these vehicles. So respectfully, I think that we should go with the local dealership.
Mr. Chair, $700, I think it's,
700 between the 48.8 and the 49.5.
can you go back to the bid sheets, please? Mr. Chair, I'd make the motion that we approve alternative 3, the purchase from Shawnee Mission Ford. The vehicles are the same as Larry mentioned. They meet the same specs, and it's a difference of a little over $6,000 of taxpayers' money that we would save. And as previously mentioned, getting service on warranty is not really an issue.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve alternative number 3 and purchase from Shawnee Mission Ford. Is there any further discussion? I think I've made my vote known. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Motion carries 3-2. Madam Clerk, please note that Commissioner Basque and Commissioner Schultz did not approve. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Good luck with your Fords. Next on the agenda is the delinquent accounts. Good morning. Please announce for the viewing public and tell us what we need to do.
Good morning again, Chairman and Commissioners. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and certify to the clerk that the accounts from Sewer District Number 1 as delinquent and request them to be placed on the tax roll. The Public Works Department annually reviews delinquent accounts for Sewer District Number 1 and attaches a list of delinquent accounts for 2025. Pursuant to KSA 19-27A09, the board may place any special maintenance tax or user's charge as a lien upon the property against which the levy or service charge is made from the date of the levy or sewer service charge becomes due. The alternatives today for alternative 1, the Board of County Commissioners may adopt Resolution 27-2025 with an amendment of Exhibit A to remove Juan Carlos Melara Perez, certifying to the county clerk that attached an exhibit are delinquent and authorize the current balance to be placed on the tax roll for collection. The Board of County Commissioners may not adopt Resolution 27-2025 and direct staff to continue current collection attempts. The reason why there was a correction to alternative 1 is because one of the delinquent users made a payment and they got taken off of the delinquent accounts. So staff recommends alternative 1, adopt resolution 27-2025 with the amendment of Exhibit A to remove Juan Carlos Melara Perez, certifying to the county clerk that the attachment and Exhibit A are delinquent and authorize the current balance to be placed on the tax roll for collection.
Questions for the Public Works?
I would make a motion that we approve alternative number 1.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 27-2025 with the list as amended.
Yes, sir.
As amended.
The second says as amended. And we'll do this one by roll call vote since we're going to impose these onto the taxpayers. Any further discussion? To my left, Commissioner Utes.
Aye.
Commissioner Basque.
Aye.
Commissioner German.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Chair, aye. Motion carries. These taxes will be imposed. Good luck collecting them.
Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda is the 2026 Agreement for Services from SDSI. Good morning, Madam Clerk.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dory Munyon, County Clerk. As a representative of the Fiscal Committee, we present to you this agreement. It's basically a formalization of what you've already adopted for SDSI as outside agency funding in the 2026 budget. So with that, your alternatives are to approve and authorize the chair to sign the agreement for services with Southwest Developmental Services, Inc. for funding as adopted in the 2026 Finney County budget, or you can decline to authorize that agreement. We do recommend alternative 1 to approve and authorize the chair to sign this agreement. The impact is $97,500, which would be paid out of the Intellectual Disabilities Services Fund as per the 2026 adopted budget. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Commissioners,
I would make a motion to approve and authorize the chair to sign the agreement for services with Southwest Development Services, Inc. for funding as adopted in the 2026 Finney County budget.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to adopt alternative number 1 as stated in the well-worded motion. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the chair will sign.
Okay, the next item is a similar agreement, but this agreement is with Russell Child Development Center. Again, as a member of the Fiscal Committee, I bring this agreement to you. This is something that's signed annually and just specifies the payment amount and the terms. So in that case, we would ask that you approve and authorize the chair to sign the agreement for services with Russell Child Development Center Services Incorporated for funding as adopted in the 2026 county budget, or you may decline to approve. Staff does recommend that you approve and authorize this agreement, and the impact is $112,500, which is paid from the Intellectual Disability Services Fund as per the 2026 adopted budget.
Questions for the clerk?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I would like to motion to approve alternative number 1, approve and authorize the chair to sign the agreement for services with Russell Child Development Services, Inc. for funding as adopted in the 2026 Finney County budget.
Second.
As stated in the well-worded motion and authorized by the second, is there any further discussion? That motion includes authorizing the chair to sign, did it not, sir?
Yes.
It did.
All right, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yep. And we're going to take a break, and we will reconvene at 9:45. To order. Continuing on our agenda this morning, we'll hear from Cheyenne Wooster, Communications and Engagement Coordinator. Good morning.
Good morning, Commission.
Good morning.
I come before you today to talk about something called Hootsuite. It's a subscription for social media. Finney County has expanded its communications capacity with the addition of a communications and engagement coordinator, but manual social media processes remain inefficient. Posts, messages, and citizen interactions are currently limited to only Facebook, which restricts outreach and creating a one citizen experience. A platform like Hootsuite would centralize communication, improve responsiveness, and strengthen engagement. The Hootsuite platform is already used by 70% of major U.S. cities and more than 2,000 government agencies. It provides scheduling, monitoring, crisis management, and analytics in one place. The City of Garden City has successfully used Hootsuite since 2022, with 6 users managing 10 social media platforms. They describe it as highly reliable and valuable for analytics, governing body reports, and professional development through certifications and webinars. While metrics vary slightly between Hootsuite and Meta, which is by Facebook, they resolved this by standardizing comparisons. Their experience shows the platform's dependability and adaptability. Approval of a Hootsuite subscription will modernize county communications, strengthen public trust, and directly support the board's goals to enhance community engagement, improve outreach, educate residents, and empower employees through professional development. Staff recommends a 2-year subscription of $14,240 annually, with onboarding and training completed within 30 days of approval. Just to give you a little background, the county hasn't had a dedicated communications role since 2020, and in August 2025, Finney County created a new communications and engagement coordinator role to educate the public, expand engagement efforts, improve transparency, and build trust with citizens. Currently, social media posting and monitoring are performed manually, which is time-consuming, inefficient, and limiting. Even managing one platform, Facebook, is challenging during holidays, time-sensitive announcements, or emergencies, leaving no capacity to expand into any other channels. Recent events, such as the board approving a countywide HVAC project that includes repairs. I didn't print the rest of the agenda. I'm sorry.
Well, let me fill in if I may.
Yes.
Those repairs to the library, courthouse, administrative building, and county attorney's office underscore the urgent need for proactive communication and social listening. In large part, the public remained unaware of these projects because there wasn't posting. There's also opportunity for when the half-cent sales tax information is shared, residents question why the library hadn't been addressed, not realizing the project had already been approved. This demonstrates the need for proactive communication and social listening to ensure important decisions and investments are clearly conveyed to constituents. Anything else you would like to add to that?
No. Thank you so much.
Reading.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioners, this is not in the budget, and it's easily taken from general fund, but only with the administrator's approval and legal's clear understanding that it's a general fund expense. Compliance with cash basis law, Madam Counselor? Thank you. Our auditors will be very happy. Now, discussion on what the need to make the purchase.
Mr. Chair, Cheyenne, appreciate you really looking into how to enhance our communication internally as well as externally. Question though on this, how many folks can use this product? Is it just going to be you, or, I mean, we have other folks messaging, we have I think the sheriff's office, the county attorney's office, and there may be some others within the county.
I have a, I don't know if it's included in the slideshow or not, Dory, but from what we understood, we recently talked to James. He's the one that we've been working with through Hootsuite. We've met with him a few times. And from what I understand, Dory and I would be administrators, and then we'd have something called light users underneath us who would have not as much responsibility as us, but would still be able to post and get things approved by us.
I think to start out, it would be a total of 6 users to start out with, and then we can expand as needed. We haven't really talked with the sheriff or the attorney to see if they want to participate in that. But we do certainly have like the health department that I know the administrator would support getting them in there as well.
Yeah, I think this is a great product, because trying to manage multiple social media messaging going in and out, and then getting the message out that, for example, the library, we approved that, and folks are still asking.
Yes.
With the library or the county building. But I appreciate the information.
I would like to go next. I'm excited to see that we're finally finding alternative sources to communicate with our public. That's been one of the things that I've noticed over the last several years, listening to people talk in social media posts about not knowing the information and trying to guide them to where the information exists. As soon as I make my next comment, then I'm going to make a motion. But my next comment is, I don't want to just stop here. I've always been an advocate for this particular building, the county administrative building, to have some type of electronic signage in front of it, because over the years when I was sheriff, sitting across the street observing people when the building was closed, or for whatever reason, that people would get out of their cars, walk up to the building, shake a door, and then try to figure out why the doors were locked or whatever. I would like to see some type of signage, and if you guys could maybe work on that and bringing it to the commission at some point, somewhat like what the library has, that can, be in a couple different languages about what's going on with the building, maybe what's going on with the county and that type of thing. I would greatly appreciate debating and considering that particular deal. Okay, so that's my last comment, and so I would like to make a motion to approve alternative number 1, 2-year Hootsuite package for $14,240 a year from the general fund, and authorize the county clerk to sign an agreement following legal approval.
We will take up that motion as soon as the other commissioners have an opportunity to address the issue. Commissioner?
Excuse me, I would just like to say that this is directly in line with our goals and strategic plan for this year. We definitely want to increase community engagement. This is an excellent way to do it. I've heard really good reports for some time about Hootsuite, so I will be voting in favor of this.
Senior?
Okay, Cheyenne, got a question for you.
Yes.
Since I'm not a Meta user, I don't have it on my phone, do I have to download an app that says Hootsuite to receive the information?
Nope. So Hootsuite, it just makes it to where we can link all of our social medias, and I can make one post and it can be spread across those. And we did make a good point when Dory and I was talking to James recently. They'll still be able to manage their Facebook account. If they decide that they don't want to use Hootsuite for this particular post, they don't have to, is from what I understand. They'll still be able to actively post on Facebook, whatever they want to post, like health department, but this is just honestly going to make it a lot easier, and it'll create one voice for the county. That's one of my goals, is we're all the same across the board. And to comment on what you said, Kevin, there is a really cool feature that Hootsuite actually offers. It's called social listening, and that's how we kind of found out about the HVAC issue under the half-cent sales tax post because people were like, well, why haven't you fixed the library yet? And so if we have this social listening feature, it pretty much pulls from all different different social medias and comments and things. Let me have Gabby pull it up. Gabby, I think it's 138 through 139. Could you put that on there? So it pulls from all of these places. I don't know if y'all can see this, but if someone says half-cent sales tax, Hootsuite has a feature where it pulls everything, and we will have the ability to act on it very quickly. If we start noticing a abundance of keywords, and it pulls it from multiple languages too. So I think that's awesome, especially in our city and our county with as diverse as we are. The word half-cent sales tax and all those different languages, 187. It'll just give us a broader understanding of what people are talking about. So social listening was one of the big features that really caught our eye, and that's one of the things I'm looking forward to using the most.
And this will also be, I mean, $14,000 sounds like a lot of money, but it is also a time saver as well, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My comments are more directed towards the administrator and with an eye towards the county councilor developing a policy on the use of the services and package. Currently, you serve at the pleasure of the clerk in the clerk's office, an elected official, and yet we're talking about the countywide policy of using this platform to assist in public information countywide. And so the authorized users should be determined by the commission. And as everyone knows, we have a new administrator coming, and whether your position stays within the clerk's office or whether it's moved out of the clerk's office into administration is something that needs to be resolved. The only thing that I would ask from legal is that whatever contract we sign with Hootsuite, the commission retains control of the authorized users. And for now, we need the clerk, who is your boss, to be authorized. And that, however, that should and can be changed in the future to meet the unique nature of county government, is that each elected official has their own budget, and we're not asking the clerk to take this money out of her budget, but rather out of the general fund budget. Mm-hmm. She graciously approved putting you in her budget this year because you had the funds to do it. And I don't expect the clerk to have all the other costs associated with what you're proposing from the clerk's budget. And yet we're taking it out of the general fund, which brings into cash basis and budget law issues that are completely unrelated to whether this is a good idea or not. And so I would ask that we act with caution as far as creating a timeline for the policy on the authorized users, who are those 6 users going to be, and then in the future, what we're going to do with the cost of the subscription on an annual basis, and make sure that it's not in the clerk's budget for proper administration of the budget, and to make sure that the clerk is not challenged with a personal responsibility in the clerk's office that should be from the general fund. So that's the 10-cent speech, and way too long and so forth. Any other questions from the commissioners? Well, before us is a pretty straightforward whether we want to buy the package or not and create the authorized users. And as long as the administrator and the clerk agree as to the authorized users for now, and we'll set that policy later, I'll be all for purchasing this.
I believe we need a second.
I'll second.
All right. Commissioner Bascu has moved to approve the 2-year Hootsuite package for $14,250 a year from the general fund and authorize the county clerk to sign an agreement following legal approval. It has been seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I would just ask for the administrator, legal, and the clerk to get the confines of authorized users determined and presented to us for proper administration.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going backwards on the agenda or forward, just depending on how you want to do it. Kelly Munyon.
Good morning, Commissioners. So IMA is here today to present the 2026 health insurance renewal. And just for some background on that, all the recommendations have went before all department directors and elected officials in a couple meetings prior to what's being presented to you today. So they all are in support of what we are recommending for renewal. Okay, I'll introduce to you Jayla Miller and Nick Johnston, who will present the renewal for us.
Thank you. We have fans going, Jayla, and I know in the past maybe you had a booming microphone, but not today.
That's all right. We've got the microphone. We're good to go. So good morning, Commissioners. It's very nice to be with you this morning. I'm Jayla Miller. I've been the account executive on the Finney County account for the last several years. And this year, I'm really pleased to introduce Nick Johnston, who will be taking over as your account executive from me following this year's renewal. My role has changed a little bit, and so I'm turning it over to Nick to take that on. So we've been working this renewal together this year. Nick is also no stranger to your account. He's been a part of our team on your account in the prior years, and so I'm going to actually turn it over to him to present this morning.
Thank you, Jayla, and it's nice to meet you all in person. Just kicking off the renewal from a high level point of view. The overall renewal increase did come in at about a 10.8% increase. That is with no plan design changes at all. Really, the main reason for this increase this year was there's quite a few high-cost members and high-cost claims activity that's hit the plan, and then overall just medical and pharmacy drug trend. We did go out to market this year to UHC and Aetna. Unfortunately, due to how the plan's running, both of those carriers did decline to quote this year. And then we did review multiple options with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas, which we will present today. And then looking at the dental-only renewal, that came in at about a 3.8% overall increase.
Oh, back up just a second. You said 10.8, and now we're down at 3.8?
So the medical was 10.8%, and then the dental was 3.8%. Yep.
I was going to say, oh, we're making money already.
I wish, yep. And then do we have that?
Yeah, we have the slide to pull up. If not, we did bring paper copies.
Page 86.
Perfect. And if you could go to slide 3, please. 4. There we go. So we did want to give you just a quick update on how the plan's performing, as I think it tells you the story of the renewal increase this year. Not going to go line by line here, but really I think that number 2 bullet point is probably one of the bigger factors in this renewal increase. You'll see from a stop-loss perspective, overall claims have well exceeded the stop-loss premium that's been paid in. You look at 2025, that's running at a 241% loss ratio, 2024 at 213%, and then 2023 at 184%. And you can see those items boxed out on this illustration, just to put a dollar figure there. Stop-loss claims in 2025 have been $945,000 compared to the premium that's been paid in at $391,000. So you can kind of get an idea of why we're seeing a stop-loss increase this year. And then from a claims perspective, claims this year running at 95% of expected, which is good. It's kind of right around where we'd want it to be at. 2024 did run about 6% higher than anticipated, and then 2023 ran just slightly above 100% of expected claims. And then looking at the dental plan performance, claims are running a little bit higher in 2025 at 107% of expected claims, but 24 and 23 did perform slightly better than anticipated, which is why we're seeing a little bit more of a favorable renewal on the dental side. I did want to include an update on, if you'll remember, the IMA RX program, which is that international sourcing. We did put that in place this last year for the first time, and just wanted to provide an update on how many members are utilizing this benefit. As a reminder, they're getting their prescriptions at $0, and the county is saving money by getting these prescriptions internationally than through the health plan. So year to date, we've seen about $71,000 in total savings, and 26 members have utilized this program, getting their drugs for $0. Before we get into the renewal and options that we reviewed this year, just wanted to look at some of the other lines of coverage. All of those are under rate guarantee or no rate changes there. So really, we're going to be focusing mainly on the medical piece. So on this page, we'll see the overall increase of about 10.6%. Now, I do want to point out this includes medical, pharmacy, and dental. We did combine it for this illustration. And then that chart on the bottom right will show you really where that increase is coming from. So you'll see 0% increase on the admin costs through Blue Cross, which is great. Stop loss premiums, you'll see where that's coming in at a 38% increase on the stop loss premium piece. Now, again, that's why I wanted to show you that report earlier, because of how the stop loss plan has ran the last 3 years. It is really leading to that 38.6% overall increase. And then the claims portion is seeing about a 7.1% overall increase, and that's really kind of right in line with what we're seeing from a trend perspective.
I think it's also fair to note that if you look at the pie chart, the light blue that we have highlighted, when we say a 38% increase on stop loss, that's on 15% of your overall spend. So that's why we're seeing, we see a big number like 30, but why the overall cost increase is about a 10%.
So we really wanted to focus on really the two options, either renewing as is with no plan design changes at the 10.6%, or option one, which would be a change to the drug formulary, and there would be some pharmacy copay adjustments with that plan as well. But those changes would reduce the renewal to a 7.3% overall increase from the 10.6. As mentioned earlier, UHC and Aetna did decline to quote. A big portion or reason of that is because of how the stop loss plan is running. Blue Cross has what we call a pooled stop loss program, which is really helping you in your renewal this year. If you're with some of those other carriers, I would have anticipated somewhere closer to about $1 million or $2 million increase because of those stop loss premiums. We did review a couple other options with Blue Cross. However, they were not competitive and really did not make sense to pursue, so we don't have them illustrated here. So this next page illustrates the changes with that Results RX option with Blue Cross. So it would be a change to the drug formulary, which we do have that disruption listed on the following page, but I did want to point out the pharmacy copay changes with this plan. You'll see those items bolded in blue on this chart. So you would be going from what we call a 3-tier drug copay plan at the $15, $30, and $45. And that would be increasing that to a 5-tier drug copay plan at the $15, $50, $75, $150, and then 20% up to $250. 2 points that I wanted to call out here is this is becoming Blue Cross's standard drug plan. We're seeing this a lot more across the board. And we did look at other public sector groups, counties, cities, K-12 in your location, and the majority, if not all of them, are on this Results RX plan as well. Another item that I wanted to point out is with that IMA pharmacy program, a lot of those medications are either your brand or specialty medications, that there's some people that still aren't tapping into that resource, and I think some of that might be because maybe they're only paying $30 a month for their drug. If we are to increase these pharmacy copays, I think that'll further incentivize members to join the IMA RX program. So we did review what disruption would look like with that Results RX formulary change, and you'll see those highlights off to the right there. So 96% of claims will still not be affected at all. So 96% of claims that are filled through the health plan would continue to be able to be filled, and then 90% of utilizers would not be affected at all either. Whenever it comes to these medications, there are alternatives available that they would still be able to fill. It's just that one particular drug they're taking would not be on the new drug formulary. When making this decision on whether tweaking the formulary or drug plan made sense, we did want to pull together some benchmarking to see what other public sector groups in your location are doing. And really from this report, what I'm seeing is you all offer a very rich and competitive benefit offering to employees, in particular that co-insurance out of pocket. I think this gets missed a lot because it's really kind of a rare benefit. Really, no one outside of Blue Cross offers something similar to this benefit. And you'll see some of these employers either don't offer it at all, or they offer a higher co-insurance out of pocket. We'd still recommend keeping that in place. And then we have another slide after this kind of detailing what exactly that benefit is. And then the pharmacy copays, you'll see the majority of other public sector groups are on that 5-tier drug card and are on the Results RX formulary too.
Employer D is still grandfathered, so that's why their information looks a little bit more so out of benchmark.
And so really this is just a claim example of how that co-insurance out-of-pocket works and why that's truly such a rich benefit. So in this illustration, we're showing a hip replacement surgery. Let's say it costs about $23,000. How it currently works in your plan design is the member would pay their $500 deductible. Then the remaining eligible claim amount would be applied to their co-insurance. So that'd be 20% up to that $1,000 co-insurance out-of-pocket max. And so really they're capped out once they hit that $1,000 out-of-pocket max. And so their total out-of-pocket costs would be $1,500. And then comparing that to employer A, who does not have that co-insurance out-of-pocket, they would not have that $1,000 max. And so really they'd have to pay all the way up to $5,000 for that same procedure. And so this does a good job of illustrating just having that in place is saving members about $3,500 just because of that one benefit.
And that is for those obviously on the $500 deductible. For those that are on the $3,500 deductible, they're still underneath that total $5,000 out of pocket, right? The max they'll pay is $4,500, so the benefit is still richer regardless of what plan design somebody would choose.
And then another piece of this is the contributions. So did want to show this as well. We have it listed by deductible amount, and then you can see all the way from employer A to employer F, what contributions look like on a per tier basis. So employee only, employee spouse, employee child, and that family tier. You'll see really outside of employer D and employer A, the county does offer very rich benefits from a contribution standpoint. In particular, you'll see on those employee-only options with the county, on the $1,500 and $3,500 plan, those employee-only contributions are $62 and $23. That is slightly better than employer A as well. But on the family, once you start to get to those employee plus tiers, so employee spouse, employee child, employee family, that employer A does have slightly better contributions. But really looking at the vast majority of employers in this area, very competitive contributions and plan design.
And for those, I know we have some new faces to the commission for this year, so it's fair to say over the last several years, we have tried to really truly make that $500 deductible plan a buy-it plan. So if you really want the super rich benefits, that has to be paid kind of in kind with a balance. And so that's why you see some of the discrepancy in those contributions, is because the plan was really to, if you're buying what you pay for, right? So that was a concerted effort by the administration over the last several years to make that what it is, while we were also trying to balance percentages across the 3 tiers so that they would remain balanced anytime there was an increase or a decrease, and we didn't get wonky. Also taking into account a wellness incentive was part of why we set these premiums as we have.
So wanting to speak to what our contribution recommendation would be for this year, and that would be, one, moving to that Results RX formulary plan at the 7.4% overall increase, and it would be sharing that 7.4% increase between employees and the county. And you can see in that far right-hand side what that employee monthly increase would look like. So for an employee only, that would range from about $1.44 a month increase up to about an $8.69 a month increase. And then you'll see for those employee plus tiers, it's a little bit larger, but this has really been kind of the philosophy the last few years of splitting that increase percent-wise equally. And then also just wanting to show what those contributions look like with the wellness rates. The prior illustration was looking at non-wellness. So really same philosophy as far as splitting that percent increase. We're just looking at a smaller overall dollar amount for those that are enrolled into that wellness program. And then speaking with Kelly, we did want to look at tweaking the essentially adding an extra $10 for spouse. And so that would change the discount to about $25 for employee spouse or employee family tiers. Dental, talking a lot smaller dollar amount, but also sharing that percent increase. But you can see what that change would look like in that far right-hand side. So only going up 64 cents for an employee only. For a family, it'd go up to about $2 a month. And then with that, through our multiple meetings with the county and department heads, it would be our recommendation to move forward with the renewal at the Results RX drug formulary and 5-tier drug copays. Moving forward with the contribution illustrations of keeping employees percent the same, and then continuing the international drug sourcing program and renewing all of their lines of coverage as is. And before I hand it off to see if there are any questions, there is one item that I forgot to mention, is that we did attempt to negotiate with Blue Cross on this year's renewal. With us going out to market and unfortunately not getting back anything competitive, it did make that a little bit difficult in how the plan is running and those stop loss premiums are running as well. I mean, you look at the last 3 years, Blue Cross has lost a lot of money the last few years because of those stop loss premiums. And it did make that difficult to try to negotiate that renewal down. But
I was gonna say, in addition, we did ask about getting an increased percentages on pharmacy rebates. So currently you're receiving 80%. Blue Cross also did not want to play ball there in terms of negotiation. That is a revenue stream for them, and they are going to maintain that 20%. I mean, frankly, is what it came down to, I think. So we did try, Gary, I know you, or Jerry, I know you asked that of us, so it just was not successful this year.
And with that, I'll see, are there any questions, anything we need to go back to?
Commissioners?
Quick question, looking back in the history of our usage, since we implemented Grow Well, has you seen a decline in usage or less usage, or have you seen where the wellness pays off or not?
Yeah, so that's a long-term investment. I think upfront, we've seen some savings on as far as cost avoidance of some of those procedures, like your office visit procedures. We have seen ER utilization go down a little bit as well, and so we're starting to shift some of those costs to the clinic, and so there's been some upfront savings there. I think long-term, it's a little difficult to tell yet as far as, I think to me, one of the main benefits of having a clinic in place is making sure that employees have access to the care they need and as early as possible, right? So that could mean, you know, catching a stage 1 cancer instead of a stage 3 or 4. And the costs associated with that are pretty significant savings. We haven't seen that yet, but I think in a couple more years, we'll have a really better idea on that.
Other questions, commissioners?
I don't have a question, just a comment. I have switched all of my doctoring over to the clinic from a private medical clinic, and because of the county's yearly, what is it, the wellness biometrics, they caught my cancer early, in an early stage, and I was able to get surgery and treatment where I'm cancer-free. And so any county employees that are listening, I would encourage you, I get all of the necessary doctoring at the clinic that I need, and any specialty treatment that I need, then they refer me to that. So I don't see that you miss out on any opportunities from the clinic that you would receive from any of the charging medical providers that we have in our community. You still have access to those specialty doctors and hospitals for those specialty treatments that you might need, but it certainly is, you can get in quicker. And basically, I've had very good luck, me and my wife, in changing all of our medical needs to the clinic.
Other comments, commissioners? Kelly, if you'd come up, I don't have any for you. Kelly, one of the things that's on our alternatives is the continuation of the $15 a month wellness incentive for employees enrolled in the health plan who also complete the annual biometric screenings.
Correct.
I would like to know how many employees are actually engaged in this, taking advantage of those screenings.
It's not near what it should be. I don't have that exact number. I apologize. I probably should have had that this morning. I do bring Grow Well on site annually each year. I send the email out to departments. I try to get Grow Well set up in departments if they have enough participation. I didn't get that much feedback. So the only offsite, aside from the county administration, was at County Health. County Health and EMS employees went there. I still didn't have full participation from either department. And I also had quite a few vacancies up at that on site. So we have 2 more employee clinics, one here at, or both here at administration on September 17th and September 24th. I have finally filled all those spots. But it's still not to the level it should. We do have a lot of employees that go to their own doctor, and that is allowed. We have a form that they'll complete and bring back. So we do get that too. But I'm just getting the biometrics and receiving this incentive. It's very underutilized.
Can we incentivize it by increasing the dollar amounts? And then to the administrator, are we within budget if we do so?
I think that, well, depend on what the dollar amount would be. We could certainly analyze that and see what makes sense. And I think what one of the things that Kelly has indicated in her proposal is we add the spouse and give them another $10. So we would really need to look at how that affects the rates, because it'll impact the rates, and that's an important part of it, and also then the overall dollar amount and the money that we have budgeted. So we can certainly come back.
But as I understand, the incentive is that that's from us, the employer.
Correct, but I would want to tell you one thing. On that Tier 3 plan, that 3,500 plan that we have, with biometrics right now, and with the $15 incentive we have, it gets that plan down to like $284 or $285 a pay period, $2.85. We would have to go back and do quite a bit adjusting if you change that $15 incentive.
So-
we've got to do some adjustments elsewhere.
So maybe that's something that we look at next year.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
This commission doesn't change next year, incentivizing employees being enrolled in the health plan and enrolled in biometrics.
Yes, and I can make sure that you have that number. Yes.
All right, perhaps we need to take it up in budget next year, but for now, it's a great incentive, and we need to do what we can to get the employees engaged.
And we think it's equally important for the spouse to also have biometrics done. Sometimes there are some of the high claimants, that we're seeing, and we want to be able to look out for their well-being as well. So we want to incentivize on that end as well.
I have taken up more than my time. Commission questions for either Kelly or for Jaylee?
Kelly or whoever. I thought I saw some information about generics. If there's a generic that exists for a particular medicine, is the employee required to utilize the generic, or do they have the option of whether to use the generic or the name brand?
Yeah, so we do have generic mandatory in the policy, or in the plan. However, we do also have the override stipulation in there. So if they have tried that generic and it didn't work in the past and they're just now coming to the county, their doctor can override that with no penalty to the employee.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Kelly, on the international RX, can you briefly talk how that works and the cost compared to going to a local pharmacist?
Okay, I can't speak too much on the cost. Do you want to take that, Jayla or Nick? But I can speak on some utilization when he's done.
Yeah. And so how that program works is first that medication's filled through the health plan. That's how it kind of triggers it on our end. And then we have members that do the outreach to that member and say, hey, do you know that you can get this same prescription for $0? And so they may be paying $15, $30, $45 a month for that prescription, and now they're getting it for $0. So that's the savings to the employees or their members. As far as the county, we typically see about 50% savings on that drug by getting it through Canada instead of here locally.
So it is an in-house IMA team that is managing that program. They do the outreach to the member, get the prescription, send it to the pharmacy. In terms of cost, IMA does take 15% of the savings. That goes directly back into our pharmacy program to order or to hire more technicians and just keep the pharmacy going. One question that may also be on your mind around that is tariffs. Those are a pass-through cost to the employer. If at a point a drug becomes, the savings for the drug outweighs, the plan savings because of that tariff, we will stop sourcing it internationally. So the goal of our program and why we see everything through our, claims data file feed is to manage whichever drug is, cheapest, whether that's through the health plan or whether that's through the international program.
And so again, when the IMA pharmacy team reaches out, they initiate that. Once they find that drug on the plan, that first communication comes to HR. They have provided a template. I have manipulated it a little bit to fit the organization, but I send that out to the employee or the spouse or to both parents if it's a child that has come through as being eligible. I reach out either by mail, by email, by phone, and I try my best to let them know that this is not a scam when IMA is calling them. And again, even though I have reached out, Even though I have talked to some of these employees or spouses, we're still not getting the utilization on the plan. So I think just continuing to reach out to them, providing further education, that's just what we're going to have to do. But this is another one. And it's the same with TRIA Health. We've got some medication costs that can be saved under TRIA just by staying in compliance and participating in their program. Again, it's just another program that's underutilized. There's savings out there for employees that they can get all of these things reduced, and the utilization is just not there. So it's going to have to go back to education, consistent education.
It sounds like it's a huge education piece.
Absolutely.
And maybe
Yep.
a trust and knowledge.
Mhm.
Well, I've been going to my family doctor, and now you want me to go over here to Grow Well or go to the International Drug
Sure.
Plan. And I do know years ago, I did do the International Drug Plan from Canada, and then DEA put a stop to it because of some federal rules, federal government, thank you. But then they started up, and I had no problems with it.
Yeah, the ones that are on it have provided great feedback about how it works. They mail the medication right to the home. You don't have to go anywhere. It's zero cost to the employee or the spouse. It's just a really good program, and I just think there are some trust issues with where it's coming from. And so just continued education, and I'll just keep trying to reach out to those that we're unsuccessful with.
It's really the exact same medication by the same manufacturer, correct?
Correct.
In the past, I think I signed up for that program and gave them the list of my medication, but I think that the response back was that they couldn't get my medication cheaper, so to stay with what I've got. Is that something that you can periodically sign up for to check to see if those prices have come down?
I can sure read, yeah.
Yeah, our team continually reviews that. So each month as claims data comes in, they will do that check to make sure, as I said, that we are sourcing from the cheapest spot. So if that is through the health plan, that's where we would want you to fill that medication.
Yeah.
If it is through our program, then that's where we'd want you to fill that.
Perfect.
Yep.
So the alternatives before you are to approve the 2026 Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas Health Insurance Renewal as presented. That would include the following components: transition to a five-tier prescription drug plan, the setting of the consistent premium adjustments, continuation of the $15 a month wellness incentive for employees, an additional $10 wellness incentive for any spouses who complete the biometrics. Option number 2 would be to deny any or part of the renewal or all of it, and direct us in consultation with IMA to look at some different recommendations for you. And staff would recommend option 1, approving as presented.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Julie, and the new man from IMA. We appreciate your presentation. Any other questions, commissioners, before we should take up the issue?
Now, the option 1 is 7.4% increase, right? Correct.
Right.
Overall.
Okay.
I would make a motion to approve option number 1.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve option number 1 as stated on page 86 of our agenda today, including the key elements as expressed. Is there any further discussion?
I would like to add a comment that for this year, I did have my personal physician do my wellness exam. I mean, it is so easy. It's not intrusive. Just a couple of tests and a little blood draw. I decided this year to participate with the rest of the employees, and I'm going to come here and have it done through Grow Well, just so that I can see what that process is like as well. I would highly encourage employees, elected officials, everybody to participate in this wellness incentive. It not only is going to save you money now, but it could potentially save you a lot of money in the future as the rates continue to go up, and it's possible that what the county is able to provide or pay for you may go down. So if we just all do our part to try to keep the costs down, I think that's significant.
And save your life.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And just to add to that, if they're not comfortable doing it here on site, they actually can still get it done through Grow Well and make an appointment and go to the clinic. So it's not a matter of they have to come here through the process here. They can do it through Grow Well either way.
Good point.
All right, wonderful discussion about the issue. I want to remind Kelly that I hope that we have a better percentage of participation and continued emphasis on the issue and come back with plan enhancements to encourage participants by employees. And Vice Chairman Gurman, I appreciate you and Commissioner Baskew's participation in this program. We have Exhibit A to my left, that it works, and it saves lives, and it saves you money on your insurance. There's a well-worded motion and seconded before the commission. Is there any further discussion? Therefore, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Kelly, if, as you provide information to the employees about the benefits of Grow Well and the wellness deal, you're certainly welcome to use my story in your information for them about how this does work and help
Thank
maybe
you.
possibly.
That'll be the third story I have of things that have been caught, so I appreciate
Perfect.
that.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Sure.
Another one.
Right, on our agenda is back with the, Kelly, with flexible spending accounts.
Yes, so good morning again. So following the passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act by Congress on July 4th of 25, one of the key provisions impacting Finney County employee benefits is the increase to the Dependent Care Assistance Program, or DCAP. That annual limit is currently $5,000, and it has been increased to $7,500 if we would like to move to that. This marks the first adjustment to DCAP limits since they were originally established in '86, remaining unchanged for nearly 40 years. So the county's flexible spending account program is a pre-tax employee benefit that allows participants to set aside funds for eligible health care or dependent care expenses. Over the past 5 plan years, an average of 120 employees have participated annually in the FSA Medical, collectively setting aside approximately $175,000 each year. In comparison, the DCAP plan has seen an average of 3 employees in participation with about $15,500 set aside for dependent care expenses. On September 6th of 2022, the board approved an automatic annual increase to the Finney County's FSA medical plan to align with IRS maximums, including provision for a 20% carryover between plan years. This adjustment at the time did not apply to DCAP as no changes to it were being imposed at that time. So alternatives before you are to approve the request to amend our plan document and allow the increase of the Finney County FSA DCAP from the current annual amount of $5,000 to a new annual amount of $7,500 beginning January 1, 2026 and moving forward. Option 2 would be to deny the request and require that we remain at the $5,000 limit. Staff would recommend option 1, approving the increase to the $7,500 under the DCAP for January 1st, 2026 and moving forward. There is a $250 one-time charge that we would have to pay Empower Family Health America to amend our plan document. Other than that, this would be included in Hinkle's update of our annual cafeteria plan, so there shouldn't be anything additional there. DCAP contributions, just for a little bit for your information there, those are unlike medical contributions when it comes to fund availability and the use it or lose it rule. So there would be no additional impact on this particular item to the county.
Questions, Commissioner? Go.
When do we annually redo these?
So
If we'd wait till the renewal, we wouldn't have to pay the $250 or?
No, we still have to pay it for the plan. My plan document needs amended either way.
Either way?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
I
So,
waited till the,
no,
okay.
yeah, I still have to pay for any amendments to the plan. We paid it back in '22.
Would the 20% carryover still apply?
It applies to the medical piece.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we wouldn't change anything on medical. The board previous to the 3 of you did approve that we just follow the IRS maximums each year on that, so.
As another commissioner who utilizes this plan, I would make a motion that we approve alternative 1, or option 1.
Second.
Commissioner Utes, do you have any other comments?
I do not, sir.
All right, any other comments from the commission? I would just like to point out that this increased availability of this is from the employees' money,
Correct.
creating a large fund.
Yes.
It's not an employer contribution. And increasing the size of the fund allows the employees to make that choice and not mandated by the employer. It's just a wonderful opportunity for us to provide maximum flexibility for the employees to increase their health savings accounts for their personal purposes. And our minimal cost of $250, Mr. Administrator, that would come from the general fund, sir?
Yes, sir. Well, employee
Employee
benefits fund.
benefits.
And there's sufficient funds, both cash basis and budget, to do so?
Yes, sir.
It's a big amount, 250 American. Anything else? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, my next item is the annual approval of 2026 county observed holidays and building closures. So the board's being asked to consider and approve the 2026 holidays, the days that we observe the holidays, and building closures as designated in the employee handbook. I want to point out on the chart there that the only holiday that falls on a weekend that we would request a building closure during the week would be July 4th. Falls on a Saturday, so we would request that we observe that holiday on Friday the 3rd and allow all county buildings to be closed. So the alternatives before you would be to approve the 2026 holidays, the observed holiday dates, and the building closure as presented, or deny and request staff in a different direction on these holidays. Staff would recommend alternative one, approve the holidays, the building closures, and the observed dates as presented. As a reminder, when non-exempt employees are required to work a holiday or sign up to work a holiday, and the observed holiday date, they will receive holiday pay on the actual holiday, in addition to 1.5 times their regular rate of pay for all hours worked on these dates. Since the implementation of the working holiday pay policy on January 1, 2024, I reached out to directors that have that kind of shift work and the need to fill holiday spots. Those directors and elected officials reported that filling those holiday shifts are no longer a significant challenge, and they expressed appreciation for the board's previous approvals on this. So while it is not possible to determine the exact fiscal impact of this policy due to varying hourly rates and the potential application of overtime depending on each person's status at the time, this feedback suggests that it has had a positive impact on the organization.
Kelly, I have one question. I think one of the incentives many years ago to switch Columbus Day as a county holiday with Veterans Day as a, well,
Christmas Eve and Columbus Day.
correct, but I know that Veterans Day also being in November with
Correct.
2 Thanksgiving holidays created some hardship on those that worked on holidays themselves because they had to take 3 holidays during a work schedule, and that was very hard. But now that they have like holiday banks, right, that they can utilize.
We went away from the holiday
Oh,
banks.
okay, so that's
Yeah.
changed since then.
It's changed,
'Cause
yes.
My thought was that some people have mentioned, why do we celebrate Columbus Day as opposed to Veterans Day? And I was thinking that the reason is because of it created 3 holidays in the month of November.
And that might have been at that time, but we don't, we're not off work for Columbus Day. We now come to work, and that's our annual benefits fair and in-service day. And that's because like the courts and things are closed, a lot of the people that we work with. So we don't recognize it as being off on Columbus Day, but we do recognize it as a working holiday, and we all go to the fairgrounds for an internal staff day and benefits.
Commissioner Ritz?
Yes, Cheyenne, if you could go back to the list of holidays, the chart. Thank you. Blow it up so I can see it. Thank you. How do we compare to our other government entities as far as holidays? The city, Holcomb, college, and school district, I guess.
Yeah, from what I've seen, I don't think the college has as many, but when I talked to a gal out there, she said it was because of all the other breaks that they have. I do know that we are comparable to the city. We have been asked over and over about Juneteenth, adding that. Currently, Veterans Day is observed only by our veterans or active military that are working. So I do know the courthouse, so the state, I think we're pretty comparable other than Juneteenth, from what I'm hearing from people, I guess is where I'm going.
And is this going to be reviewed as part of our compensation package? Do you-
Yeah, it's in the benefit guide.
Other commissioners' comments? I think our employees know that this is a substantial amount of time that's being given as paid holidays, nearly in conformity with other governmental entities, but it is a great benefit. And I also think that it's well-deserved on the days that are intended. But at some time, perhaps, we should take also the responsibility to know that our economy is the most important thing, and we can't have free things being given forever. Free is not our most operative word. We just improved a 10.4% total benefit for employees without additional cost to them, and absorbed completely by the employer, the Board of County Commissioners, and the respective elected officials. My question to you is, after making that nice long introduction, on these recommended day closures, have each of the electeds been consulted, and do they approve?
I did not consult, but this is consistent with every other year that they have all been here, so.
All right, very good.
Yes, sir.
Anything else, commissioners?
As a former elected, I can tell you that all employees, even the electeds, appreciate observing these holidays, and the employees greatly appreciate having these holidays off. So with that in mind, I would make a motion to approve alternative number 1.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the alternative, and let me get back to the right screen. It is alternative number 1 of the 2026 holidays as observed and building closures as presented. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Kelly. You have one more item, please.
Yes, sir. So this morning, the board's being asked to approve a partial day closure of the Finney County Administration Building on Wednesday, November 12th, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. to allow administration building staff to participate in mandatory training. This date was approved by all department directors and elected officials in this building, and does conform with their schedules. Over the past 2 years, we've successfully conducted workplace violence and emergency preparedness training, which has received positive feedback. Staff has expressed appreciation for the opportunity to identify areas of vulnerability within our buildings and offices, and to receive trainings, and also how to respond effectively to protect themselves and others in the event of an emergency. These trainings are essential for building the skills and preparedness needed to ensure the safety of county staff and visitors to county facilities. This training will be provided by the Garden City Police Department and would include a walkthrough of the county administration offices, identifying strengths and weaknesses, and given the new construction, I think this will be good for those offices that are doing that this year. They also provide us with an informational video presentation, scenario-based demonstration, and then they follow up in ending the training with first aid and stop the bleed. Other county buildings and departments have been strongly encouraged to request similar training through the board and take advantage of the resources that are offered by the Garden City Police Department. And for a little background there, I did reach out to Sheriff Martinez before I did this. He said that we should go with how we've been doing it in the past, which is with the Garden State Police Department. So I did not leave Sheriff Martinez out of this process. Alternatives here, and I do have a typo on alternative 1, would be to allow the partial day closure of the Finney County Administration Building to participate in this training, not this closure. Or alternative 2, do not allow the partial day closure and direct staff to seek other alternatives to receive a similar but downscaled training. And staff would recommend alternative 1, allowing the partial day closure. There's no cost associated, and therefore this does not create any additional fiscal impact but allowing this closure and approving this far in advance, we can provide proper notification to the citizens, maintaining that clear line of communication, and making sure that they're aware of the date, the time, and why we're closing.
My only safeguard is that we at least announce the closure a week in advance of the training, and in my opinion, we can leave that to the administrator.
I have a question, Kelly. I assume that the commissioners are not required to attend, but may we attend?
Absolutely. Yep, we would
I
love
would
to
like
have
to
you.
do so.
Okay. I'll make sure that you're on that when we.
Thank
yep,
you.
Sure.
Oh, and the only thing I've got is I think that this is very necessary training, especially where there have been situations that have occurred in other public buildings where training didn't happen and staff didn't know what to do in an event. Then sometimes the community publicly stated why. So I think we need to do that. And then the only thing else is I just continue to harp on a nice electronic signage board out front to
Right.
let everybody know that doesn't listen to us on our other sources. They can drive up and see that we're not open for business during that time.
So I think the only place we really fail in this, which is, something that I'd like to ramp up with the departments, is to make sure that all new hires, even though they didn't sit through the training within the departments, those directors still should be running those new hires through a little bit of demonstration, what we went through, until they're able to sit through the training the next year. So, but I do think we're failing a little bit in that regard. I've just heard some feedback from employees. Where do we go? What do we do? We're not very strong there, but we're going to get there. So I do
It's one of
recognize.
those where we don't really need to make a motion. We just let county administration handle it the way that we did with.
Motion to close, partial close at the direction of the administrator.
I would so move that we grant this partial closing for this training on that day.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve partial closing of the administration building for mandatory training, dates and time, or excuse me, exact times to be determined by the administrator. Is that correct on movement and second?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Wednesday, November 12th.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That brings us on our agenda to the staff reports, and we'll start with Kenny Smith.
Hello again, Kenny Smith, Director of Finney County EMS. To try to keep transparency to you guys and to the listening public, this is kind of the first half of 2025 call volume and billing presentation. Excuse me, this weather's getting me.
All the rain's getting to you?
Well, either that or just the allergies or something's getting to me, so.
Mr. Jones wants you to get over your rain allergy.
Right.
Continue, please.
Currently, kind of this paper's changed a little bit. We currently have 2 openings. 4 was 2 of the frozen positions. We will be filling one of those in October, so then we'll only have 1 more opening as far as being fully staffed. Later today, we're having assistant director interviews with 2 prospective applicants, both actually from out of state. I have no idea who they are, so that'll be interesting and good as far as getting them interviewed. In July, we have approved, or you guys approved, the purchase of the medlocking units for the ambulances and stations. We do have them all installed and operational, so thank you for that. Station 3, again, has proved very beneficial for the location that it's in. Our response time has dramatically decreased when responding to that side of the city/county. Station 1 is coming along. It is going vertical. They have started doing steel framing and putting on exterior stuff to do all the finishes. When I did have the meeting with them last time, and it would have been the meeting before this last time, I guess. They did mention that they were approximately 2 weeks ahead of schedule, so everything is going good on that end. As you can see, can you pull up yes, thank you. As you can see, the call volume there, Station 1 receiving the majority as far as 914 calls in the first half, with Station 3 being 510. Holcomb being 109 calls, air medical a little over 200 calls, and nursing homes approximately 180 calls, and then just random other ones 91 calls. Total for the half of the year was 2018, I believe, was the count as far as just the call volume. If you'll go to the next one, this one just kind of nope. Not that one. Back to the pie, to the next page on that one. Oh, yeah, thank you. This just kind of splits it out again, just for your purview as far as where exactly is, Station 1, is it a city call or is it a county call? Station 3, is it a city call or is it a county call? It just kind of breaks it up a little bit more prospectively to where you can see where most of our calls are going towards. So, next one. So something that I did differently on this presentation is include QuickMed claims. So I have a monthly webinar with them. So they give me updates monthly on how the process is going, what billable, what's being not paid, and all that sort of thing. They do include they include 3 years of it. So the bottom line is showing you, so the horizontal line, the 52% is showing you that Medicare is our top payer. On the far left is self-pay, I believe, and then the far right is the commercial paying. Commercial paying being like your Red or Blue Cross Blue Shield, like your commercial insurances and stuff like that. But again, just trying to be transparent and showing you where the majority of the billables are coming from. Next one. This is just a trip count. So we only bill for transported calls. So if we go to a residence and we don't transport, that is not billed. Whatever we do, it doesn't matter what we do. We could do, we've done like low blood sugar. We've started an IV. We've given the medication, and then they wake up coherent enough to where they can eat, and we don't transport. That's not billed. The only time that we do bill is that when we do transport. So what this shows is just the trip count per month. As you can see, the first 6 months of the year, right, is approximately 900 calls. And so out of our total call volume, we're transporting about 46% of the time. But that just shows the trip count that they have billed. Next one. This shows the payer trending. So the top line is going to be your Medicare, again, because it is our top payer at 49%. The next one is commercial, and then self-pay is in that mix of those lines. And it's just showing that's what's being paid per month type of deal. So. Next one. This is just showing you the type of call or the level of call that's being billed. So whether it's BLS or ALS, as you can see there, the BLS and ALS, it just kind of fluctuates back and forth. That's kind of the top priorities. And then the standbys, which are football games, rodeos, the airport raceway and stuff like that are in there as well. And then the ALS2, which is a little bit lesser of a evil. So I had to ask about the ALS2 to them, and the difference between ALS and ALS2 is just the provider or the care provided. In the ALS2, it's more advanced level stuff. So whether it's a cardiac arrest and more procedures are done in that situation, that's kind of the difference as far as what's being billed. Next. This is showing the 3-year deposit trend. 2023 was a high deposit year because of back pay. So QuickMed claims began in 2023, and so they were able to back pay approximately, I believe it's 6 months, or back bill, I should say, 6 months, and so that's why it is a little bit higher. 2024 is a very, it's a more of a standard year if you want to kind of judge it off of that. And then they are predicting 834,000 for this coming 2025 as far as being what they expect for us to get for the year. Next one. This again just breaks out by month what was deposited and not so much billed, but what was deposited in the last year and a half-ish. So just to give you that perspective. Next one. And again, this is just showing you the top 10 payers of what has been paid since January. Just for your purview, honestly, is what this one is for. This is showing how the payments have gone throughout this billing cycle. As you can see, so on the top line, on the fourth one over, it says 9% calculated. The cumulative is 88%, and the target is 85% targeted. So she made a note on that's a very good being over the targeted amount on that. So they were pleased with that. But again, it's just showing you how much is collected throughout all of the days in the past that it's been since the call and all that stuff, since it's been billed. So with that, I will take any questions if you have any questions.
Commissioners?
Kenny, you have, you said calls per station. Who determines which station? Is that the dispatch?
No, so that's noted in the run sheet. So in our patient care report, our PCR, it has tabs in there that notes where exactly we ran, where that call is at. So dispatch dispatches us out, oh, that's a lot of that, to a certain address. That's all that they have with us, typically. That's the only exposure we have with them is on that call. And so for us to be able to track where they are at in the county, we have questions or pop-out windows in our PCRs that we tabulate to where we basically track it on our own.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you select which station makes the call?
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood the question.
Oh, that's
So typically what we have with dispatch is we have a left and right lateral limit. So we have a west side and an east side, and basically it's campus. So anything west of campus is going to be station 1. Anything east of campus is going to be station 3.
And so you get west of VFW, then it's Holcomb, or what?
It's still going to be station 1, but it's designated as a Holcomb call because we don't staff Holcomb at the current time.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
Any other questions?
I do have a question. On the payers, would like automobile accidents, things like that, that'd be under the commercial payers?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that looks like that's not a significant portion of your calls.
No. It is the older generation, honestly, is the majority of our calls. So.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
We'll next hear from Mackenzie Phillips.
Good morning again, Chairman and Commissioners. Mackenzie Phillips, Development and Administrative Coordinator. I just have a few updates for you this morning, starting with Spear Acres. So we did get resubmittals for both the preliminary plat and the final plat, showing that the infrastructure is now going to be private instead of public. So we're anticipated to have that before the Planning Commission on the October 16th meeting. And during the next report, we did have GIS do some new aerials, so we will have some updated aerials for you on this next report. And then Lana had mentioned that one of the renewable energy companies was in town this week, and we are planning on meeting with them this week. So,
Questions for Mackenzie? If not, thank you.
thank you.
Don't have to get up, sir. The administrator's report.
Excuse me. I want to mention tomorrow is the joint city-county meeting. It'll be at the City Administrative Center at 11 o'clock, from 11 o'clock to 12:30. At that time, the topics that we have on the agenda is an update on the LEC jail project and the November 4th ballot issue. City of Garden City will report on progress made on a proposed update to the neighborhood revitalization program, and then discussion on regional growth and advocacy of state highway system improvements. And probably there would also be a talk about the next meeting, when that will be, so we can schedule that in advance. The only other thing is I wanted to mention that the VRF project has started. There's been work on this building and on the library. They're kind of bouncing back and forth, getting things done so that they can stay busy. It seems to be going along pretty well. The heating and cooling system in this building is shut down. We've been last week it shut down on its own. We had intended to shut the system off today, but last week it failed, and so we've been working through the warm days. I think this week, after we get by tomorrow, should be a lot better temperatures outside, and so, but we have shut down a little early on a few of the days last week. We're looking at trying to make sure that we can provide a good environment for the employees and the public. So I would think that probably once we get beyond tomorrow, we should be in a lot better shape to keep the building open the full day. We'll look and see what the temperatures are going to be like later today and then tomorrow, and we'll keep you posted. So those are the two main things I have, unless you have any questions.
Questions for the administrator? All right, thank you. Department monthly reports, Madam Clerk.
Oh, those were provided in your packet for your review.
All right, very good. Upcoming meetings and events. The only thing that I would like to add to that is September 16th, which is tomorrow, the 11 a.m. joint meeting. Anything else needed to be added to the upcoming meetings and events?
Where are these posted, all these forums, political?
Yes, yes, they've been all over social media, and I did want to point that out to you today, that those start this evening. Those candidate forums for all of the things on the election.
Yeah, there's one this evening.
Yeah, on the November ballot. Those all start this evening and throughout the next couple of weeks, I think.
Well, let's go ahead and discuss them. I know that they have brought them up on our screens, but if I'm looking at this correctly, Monday the 15th at 6 p.m. for Holcomb School District. Tuesday, September 16th at 6 p.m. at the 363 Administration Building at 6 p.m. Monday, September 22nd, Garden City Community College Board of Trustees at the Garden City Administrative Building, second floor. Tuesday, September 23rd at 6 p.m., USD 457, location City of Garden City Administration Building, second floor. Thursday, September 25, City of Garden City Commission, location the Administrative Building on the second floor. And then Thursday, the 2nd at 6 p.m., meet and greet the candidates at the Clarion Ballroom at 1911 East Kansas. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. The
Right.
chamber does a great job with that, so we want to thank them for doing that. We get a lot of calls for people wanting information and bios on the candidates, so it's great to have this to send them to.
If I've read this correctly, if you have a specific question that you want submitted to the candidates for consideration, not your decision, but rather the people holding the forum, you can email your questions and suggestions to Micah Bunch at her email address, which is mbunch@gckschamber.com. Any other additions to the upcoming meetings and events, commissioners?
Jerry,
Sir.
when was the, Commissioner Coles, when was the meet and greet?
October 2nd at the Clarion.
I know the last meet and greet, the city had their information table there on the ballot. I don't know if we can do the same thing. But that
On the half-cent sales tax?
Yes.
I think it's a great idea.
So, I'll talk to you. Coordinate.
All right, what would you like to have happen, sir? I didn't hear you.
I'll visit with Dorian, we'll try to make that happen, and we'll
Right.
get a couple lists there.
Okay, that is a great idea, and then we'll go to commissioner reports. Madam Clerk, anything else?
No, sir.
Commissioner reports, we will start with senior today.
Okay, had a construction meeting, and the next one is, get to the right page, will be the 23rd of this month. They're getting along well, and Nolan was there, and Kenny Smith was there also, and they're, I think, from the county, and they're working on trying to get the roof watertight. That's the next phase, but they're putting up the interior walls, and it's moving right along.
Are they reporting to you that they are, in fact, 2 to 3 weeks ahead of schedule? It's wonderful. We've had good weather, even though we've had rain.
Yep, they're doing well. Let's see, I attended one, the Republican committee had a forum, and a lot of candidates were there and spoke, and so everybody encouraged them to make sure and attend these forums, even though that they may not be in an area that they're running for. It's good to see how everybody responds and what kind of questions you're going to face. But I'll probably try to attend the one tonight at 363.
All right, very good. Vice Chairman?
Yes, I attended the Builders Association luncheon on the 15th. Haven't really had too many meetings since our last one. I just have an update with regard to the Riverbed project. We do have a meeting scheduled for the entire group, whoever is able to attend on the 23rd at 6 p.m. in Classroom B at St. Catherine Hospital. We have worked with Lance Rupp and scheduled a Riverbed Cleanup Day, October 11. We will start at 9 a.m. We have on board the Board of Realtors. We have the Builders Association, Real Men, Real Leaders. We have Coldwell Banker and ARC Real Estate is going to be cooking hot dogs for everybody. We're trying to, really get folks out there. We do have a volunteer who works for one of the big equipment companies, and he is a member of a group that rides their four-wheelers and things down in the riverbed. They have agreed to help us. He's going to help us get some equipment.
What day is that?
October 11.
Okay.
It's a Saturday. We'll start at 9 a.m. and just kind of go till we're finished. We're looking at from Wildwood Park to probably around the zoo. It's important that people realize we are not taking the possessions of those who are living in the riverbed. That is not what this is about. There's a lot of dumping that goes on in the riverbed and has for a number of years, but it's gotten really bad lately, and I think that's partially because, the people down there and people haven't wanted to create issues with them. What we need from the county, we do want a sheriff deputy presence, just so that, you know, the folks that are living down there don't get crossways with our people cleaning up. We would also like to ask the county to participate with hauling the trash. They separated into 3 different types, the regular trash, tires, and metal. So we will have that all separated out, but we would like to ask that the county participate with us on that. I've reached out to Kayla Kneer, who is with the Kansas Statewide Homeless Coalition, and she is going to have her teams go down and visit with the folks in the riverbed and let them know we're not here to take your stuff. You know, we're here to clean up the other issues, the trash that's actually down there. It's been reported that the fifth wheel camper is being dismantled, so Kayla has been working on making that happen, because apparently you can't just take the camper and dispose of it. Has to have certain things dismantled. So she has worked on getting that done, and we will have some equipment down there that we can help to haul that off as well. I do have also a meeting scheduled, just got that kind of confirmed today, with those involved in the legal process that we're working on with Bob Lewis. So I'll send an email out to those folks, the attorneys and people with regard to that. That'll be this coming Monday, the 22nd, at Finney County Economic Development, 10:30 a.m. I would also like to let everybody know that the library will in fact be closed during the HVAC construction from September 29 through October 31. So the list of alternative sites can be published with regard to that. And they're doing the same thing that we are currently. If it's too hot, they close early or whatever. I think that's all I have.
All right, Commissioner Basque.
I have nothing to report.
Wonderful. Commissioner Hoots?
I sat in on our groups looking at the organizational study. It's back to the group, to the company to finish up some stuff, and hopefully we'll have a report come out here soon. So, also met on the law enforcement center and jail half-cent sales tax project. Cheyenne did a great job, along with help from the city, on these trifold informational packets. I think Cheyenne's going to get more of these printed up so that you can grab a handful if you're at a location. Feel free to hand them out. The other thing is, each of you should have a thumb drive, flash drive, whatever you want to call them, on the presentation. It's coming down, it's getting close, folks, so we really need to know locations. We're going to be presenting to the senior center soon. The ranch house is in the process, many others.
Well, we're discussing with building superintendents with the school district to provide that presentation to as many educators as possible. Those people have a tendency to vote. We want to make sure that they know the facts about the half-cent sales tax.
As well as looking at Holcomb schools.
Correct.
And if you have any, let us know. If you know of events, off the cuff, we have this meet and greet with candidates. So I think that's a great venue for us to have a little table, and we'll have a couple lists there to hand out pamphlets. So.
Anything else, Commissioner? All right, I think mine involves mostly and centers around the upcoming vote on the half-cent sales tax, and everybody should see this brochure that was put together by the public information officers, Cheyenne and Jaime Darville from the city. Those young ladies have done a wonderful job, as well as administration from both the city and the county, with participation from the sheriff's department and the clerk. And did I miss anybody else on that committee?
Police Department.
And the police department with the chief. We appreciate everybody who's been working very hard to make sure that the electorate is informed as to the need, the nature of the project, and the facts regarding the vote. Madam Counselor, is there a need for an executive session?
There is, to talk about some of the attorney-client matters. We need 20 minutes for that, and that will include the board, myself, and Mr. Meager.
All right, is there a motion to go into executive session on attorney-client matters
So moved.
for 20 minutes with the persons identified?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to go into executive session with the persons identified for a period of 20 minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're in executive session. Very good. Motion to go back into regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second to go back in regular session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We're in regular session. I'll confirm that no action was taken. Do we have any other business before the county commission today? Please note that our next commission meeting is tomorrow with a joint session with the City of Garden City and City of Holcomb. It'll be at 11 o'clock at the City Administrative Building. If there's no other further business before this commission, a motion to adjourn, Commissioner Rhodes?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.